Let's check in with Tom Piotrowski over at CommSec to see how the markets are looking today. How are we, Tom? Good morning.
Good morning, Pete. Look, we're going to get off to a slightly negative start this morning as far as the futures are concerned. US markets had what you could reasonably describe as a day of consolidation last night, given the fact that in the previous session we saw some rather encouraging improvements. So just to give you the contrast, the day before we had the S&P 500 up by about 1.3%. Last night, we saw that index finish just in negative territory. The Nasdaq was up by 0.25%, but the Dow Jones was down by 0.25%. So we've had a big central bankers meeting in Portugal in the last couple of days, and we heard comments from a range of officials last night, including Jerome Powell. They're all talking about the need for higher interest rates. That just tended to take the gloss off things at the margins. European markets were a little more optimistic. They tended to miss out on the upswing for US stocks the day before, so they made up for it last night. The FTSE up by 0.5%, the French market up by about 1%, and we had the German market up 0.2%. Today, Pete, is an important day for the fact that we'll have some retail sales figures released. So these will go hand in hand with yesterday's inflation numbers. As you rightly point out, even though we saw a very encouraging decline in the headline inflation in the last month, those services that make up the foundation of our lives, like healthcare, education, housing, they all remain quite sticky. Fuel and travel related expenses came down. The chances of a rate hike next month did contract slightly, but if we get a soft retail sales number today, then that calculation will change a little bit. So those figures are actually quite important today.